Welcome in, everybody. We got another episode of Talk More with Matt Morrison. And of course, I'm your host, Matt Morrison. Couple of things to get started with here before I have some guests on. I'm going to have the Mineral Ridge baseball coach on, and then I'm going to have the Badger baseball coach on. It's getting to be that season where, basketball's rolling out and baseball's coming in. So I can't wait for baseball to start. A lot of good teams coming around. Canfield Salem will be back. Canfield losing a couple seniors last year, so we'll see what happens with them. But I'm excited for baseball. But first off, I want to say congratulations to a good year for the Springfield girls basketball team. Unfortunately, they did fall last night in the state semifinal, but what a ride it has been for Springfield, and their head coach has really done a lot for them. John Matisse, we've had him on here on the network a couple of times. I had him on here and talked to him a couple of times. So great guy, great finish for them. Just to get to state is unbelievable. And Noah Doty, who came on here as well a couple of days, Monday. Yeah, that's what it was. He's just talking good about them, and hopefully we can get him on here again for baseball season. But he was really happy to at least make that trip out there, and I listened to a little bit of his call, and just unbelievable call by him, and just unbelievable opportunity, and I can't wait to see more from him in the future. But talking up, I got a couple more basketball games. I got the NAC All-Star game this Monday at Badger. The girls are at 5:30 and the boys will be at 7, I believe. That'll be fun to see that. I saw that last year, and it was just a good opportunity. We'll probably see Katie Gregson there, Duncan Moy, Brad Hamilton, and it's really cool. You have the 3-point contest, and at halftime, and including the game as well. And they according to last year, from what I saw, they really have fun with it. They put fun things into the game, like the first to get to 20 gets 20 more points or something like that. It's really entertaining. And, along with that, we have our own YSN All-Star game, March 25th at Beagley Center. So that'll be something to see as well. If you have a chance to get out there and see that, it's going to be something. We're going to have a lot of great players coming out. And this is the fun part of the basketball season. The season's over. A couple more games in the state, and that's it pretty much. And then you got the All-Star game, and that's always a fun time for any All-Star game throughout the area. So it'll be a fun time for that All-Star game. But going back into baseball, these teams coming in here. A lot of teams I've been keeping an eye on, like what they did last year and how good they are going to be this year. I feel Canfield will be good. We just had Richie Giuliano on Wednesday talking about Canfield baseball. So they lost a couple of people, but they should be still Canfield strong. And I was keeping out on Salem as well. Salem should be good. And as well as this Mineral Ridge team as well. We'll have a coach on here in just a little bit to talk about that. But it should be a good season for them. Badger, I talked a little bit to their coach, Bill Hamilton, before. He said he got a lot of signups coming in. So last year they just went 2-7 last year. So it'll be nice to get some players on, just some people playing. I remember last year they had to get a couple people from the track team to come over and play because they just had injuries or just people out. So hopefully they won't have to do that this year. Hopefully they have a pretty good roster. I know they have a lot of good guys coming back. One of those guys is Brad Hamilton. He'll be pitching. Of course, playing outfield or stuff like that. It should be an interesting thing to see. Another team I like to see is this Brookfield team. They got a brand new head coach, and it's a familiar face as it's their head football coach. We'll have to get him on here, Randy Clark, coming in coaching baseball, so that will be cool. You got Donovan Pulowski in his senior year, a couple other good players as well. I know AJ Bartlett will be playing as well. He's pretty good on the diamond, so it'll be good to good to see them. And their softball team too. Just a year ago, this Brookfield softball team was in the district championship. They did lose to Matthews. I remember that game. It was really windy. I had stuff blowing everywhere, dirt all over my, microphones and laptops. So we'll have some interesting games this year. Looking back on last year, I mean, I've called everywhere, I've went to games where I was in the mud. I went to games where the wind was a factor, thunderstorms. Thinking about buying a big tent before the season to help out with that stuff. So I've been looking on Walmart and stuff like that. But it should be a good year. I can't wait. It's very interesting. And, if you get a game that's not really going the way you want it, there's so much other things to talk about. And, like the elements of the weather, I always bring that up. What's happening in the outfield or outside of the park, I always try to bring up and make it interesting, even if it is a good game. It just fills it in. But it should be a pretty good season. Ursuline baseball is definitely top on the list as well. They're going to be good. They're dominant every year. I think Louisville will be good this year as well. I was looking at their schedule from last year. I don't think they lost too many people. I'll verify that a little later. I know they had a couple seniors returning this year, so that'll be good with them coming in. But we'll take a little break, just about 7.5 minutes in, and in a couple more minutes here, when I come back, we'll have the Mineral Ridge head coach in here with me. But we'll be right back here in just a couple of minutes here on Talk More. I can scroll down here. There we go. We'll be right back, everybody.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online.
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
And on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
As fine as the eye can see, the finest hardwoods from the finest trees. Made for your home and within your means, Baird Brothers will help fulfill your dreams. Let life and light come shining through in quiet morns. And heavy traffic, too. Find your easy-to-afford fine hardwood floors and doors and more at BairdBrothers.com.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our Valley's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Hey everybody, we're back here. Should be getting the coach on here, but I wanted to go over the awards that we had. I know probably Anthony Hartwick talked about them, but I mean, I really like this season as well. Along with the All-Star game, we got special awards as well. One of them, Offensive Player of the Year, Abby Davidson of Salem got it. So, I mean, she's just unbelievable. So, I mean, I've called a game where she just went off against Fitch, and Fitch, very tough team to go against, and it's been a great season for her. I mean, 45% from field goal range, and then 75% from the free throw line. So that's just unbelievable. I got to see her one time. Hopefully we can see her again here. Definitely in the All-Star game, we'll get to see that, I'm sure. And then as well as Duncan Moy. I mean, I saw him all year long. And unbelievable play by him. I mean, 24.8 points a game, 50% from the field goal or from the free throw line. He was hopping up, getting rebounds too, and he had a couple blocks here and there. Just an all-around fantastic player, and he really made his mark this year. I truly believe. His first year at Badger, it's just been phenomenal there. And, I've had his coaches say amazing things about him. So it's awesome for him to get that. And then, you have JC Mullen as well for Springfield getting our MVP award. So that's pretty cool for her as well. And then you have Al Jancic, I believe, from Louisville getting it for the boys. So that's just unbelievable as there. And I can't wait to see what we get for baseball. I don't know if we do awards. I have to ask, but I mean, that would be cool to get some awards for the baseball. But we're going to have our coach join in right here now. Coach, how are you doing? Thanks for coming on here. I'm in Mineral Ridge as well, so I don't know how far away you are, but my girlfriend lives out here in Mineral Ridge, so it's cool to get a Ridge guy on here with me.
No, that's where I live. So
you're in Girard. Okay. I actually date her. Well, her cousins are the Gillies, so Jack and Andrew. I spent a lot of time with them.
Yeah.
So they're a good group of kids. But we'll go right into some questions here. Last year, you guys did pretty good. I was looking at your record. What was it, like 14-5, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, were you losing a lot of guys? I didn't see how many seniors you lost.
Yeah, we lost 6 seniors. So we're it's and 4 of them were all conference guys. 2 of them went to college. 4 of them probably should have went and played in college bowl. So yeah, we definitely lose a lot of skilled talent. All of I think 5 out of the 6 were 4-year starters. So there's a lot of experience that we lost from last year.
So now, who do you think has shown a lot to possibly fill that void? We're going to just jump right into questions here, if that's all right.
Pitching wise, I think Trey Wrigley's one to look out for. I think he can have a breakout junior season. He's an athlete. He knows what he's doing. Jack Gilly.
Yep.
One. I mean, he was going to pitch a little bit for us last year, and then he second game of the season, broke his thumb as a
And
freshman. So
he broke his arm too this year. I heard.
That's his brother.
Yeah.
So,
What's that?
That was his brother Andrew.
I know the whole story. And then Andrew broke his hand or something too, right?
Yeah, Jack broke his thumb last year, and Andrew broke his wrist this year. So it's
geez,
the freshman curse for those guys.
Yeah. They're
actually he got his cast off. He's in a little bit of a brace now, but he's getting close to being cleared to go.
Good.
Yeah, Trey Wrigley's one. Jack Gilly's another one. We picked Tristan Valley's out this year. He's got a ton of arm talent. It's just kind of working his mechanics, letting him figure those out. I think he could be really good for us. We got Justin Barker. He came out for his senior year. He's got a great arm as well. He's just kind of knocking the rust off. Who else is there? Gavin Fox. He's a senior. He didn't get a lot of action last year just because of the guys we had, but Gavin Fox is another one. He worked all summer long on his mechanics, and we had a scrimmage with Niles yesterday, and he looked pretty good against them. Austin Allen's another senior who I think can have some success off the mound for us.
Yes, that sounds like you got a pretty good group with you coming back this year. What's it going to be like going into this first game? I just saw it and I missed. Who do you guys play again?
Reserve.
Yeah, so Western Reserve, another. Just jumping right into the season, in that first game. So I've been to a couple of basketball games, and I always see the baseball players coming through, and I'm like, yeah, they're going to work. So what's the practice situation like? Do you go like a couple of times? Do you do weekend practices or anything like that?
Right now, especially because we're such a young group, we're Monday through Saturday. So we go after school Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. We lift after, and then Saturdays we go 9 to 11, get in there, swing it. And then, the first 3 weeks, we've had our kids camp too. So those Saturdays have been like long days for them. So this is the last one for our camp. But yeah, they've been getting after it. We started lifting in November. We've had 12, 14 people in the weight room every time we go in the off season. And now with everybody, we got 18 guys. They're putting in the work that needs to be done.
That's something that you really like to see as a coach, guys coming in, you said in the off season, putting work in, whether it's lifting or, working on their pitching. Where do you see this team going at this year? Do you have a specific goal, or do you just want to come out and, see them get good play, or do you have like specific goals?
So we're young, experience-wise. We don't really return much varsity experience at all. But I could see us, I want to see us keep building as the year goes on. We scrimmaged Niles on Monday, and we didn't look great. A lot of rusty errors, and then we scrimmaged them again yesterday, and we looked a lot better than we did the first time. So, it was just putting that in their heads that we just got to get better each game. We're inexperienced. We're going to have struggles. That just comes with the game. But the fact that we're just going to keep building, I could see us being above 500 this year.
Okay, that's always a good goal to get to. Just keep it above 500. Sneak in the playoff, and you never know what happens. You got a long way away though. We're starting. This is just a nice little preview to talk about. Now, I really like the scrimmages because, like you said, a lot of those players, like, you can lift and you can work on your pitching and hitting, but when you get in, it's not playing a real game. When you play that real game, there's definitely going to be that rust there, and that's why I like the scrimmages. And like you said, you see a lot of that rust come off, from that, you play Niles twice, the first game and the second game, you saw a lot of people, improving. That's why MLB, they have spring training. This is like your guys' spring training. You got to come in, you got to get to work, you got to, work on different things. And that's what scrimmages are for. Like, does this guy work on the pitcher's mound? Does this guy work better in the outfield, catching? Have you seen anybody like that? Like, you tried somebody out at pitcher and he's like, all right, maybe not pitcher. Then you put him at first base and he's done great.
Yeah, so we're still kind of working out the kinks, moving people around, seeing where. Yeah. That's why, like you said, those two scrimmages were nice to see. You get out there now. You're in a kind of because we've been cage scrimmaging with each other, like our own team, and you get yourself in a cage. It's a little different than out on a field. You get yourself out there, things are different. There's more pressure. You have runners on, people stealing and stuff. So, yeah, just seeing that, and just kind of working, seeing who can handle those kind of situations and stuff like that. Because I mean, with the inexperience, we're going to need we're pitching by committee this year, so we're going to need people to be able to come off the bench, get in high pressure pitching situations, and be able to handle that kind of stuff.
Have you seen anybody that could be in tough situations like that?
Yes, good example was Gavin Fox yesterday.
Gavin Fox. Okay.
Yeah, we brought him in. I think he was our third pitcher yesterday. Came in, got some runners on, not by his fault, but then he kind of pitched his way out of it. So I mean, that's something that I want him to start building on. I told him that yesterday. If you can do that every game or every time you're out there, that's a good thing to be able to do. We need people like that who can do that kind of stuff.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
Well, Tristan Valley's another one. He has it. This is the first time he's played baseball since he was 11. He came out yesterday and he looked pretty good off the mound against live hitting. So we're going to see where that goes. But he's another one that can play the outfield too. So
that's awesome. And you like that great starting pitcher, to come in, give you maybe 6 innings or so. But you also like that guy to come in relief, who can get out of jams with, run like 2 or even bases loaded.
Yeah.
And just maybe 1 run comes in, but if you get out of that, quickly, like that's what you really like to see. Like if they can really handle that pressure, and that's, and that really creates a lot of trust for your guys.
Yeah.
Like, all right, look at him. He came in, had bases loaded, and, came out, with no runs or maybe even 1 run, so it's those relief pitchers that come in and, just, produce. So next question for you. What has been kind of the routine for you? I know you talked about, the Monday through Saturday practices, but what has been like the routine? Like, do you go in, do you do batting first? Do you do pitching first? Or do you have like meetings or anything like that with your team? Or
no, we don't really meet. So, I mean, I get there after work. So practice starts at 3:15. They're in there. They go through their dynamic warm-ups, their stretches and stuff. Then from there, we kind of talk a little bit about, what we're going to build on for today. And then either we'll go, because we're kind of stuck in the gym. So we'll either go work on defensive stuff. Like we've been putting in our bunt coverages and first and third situations, PFP, stuff like that. We might do that for the whole practice, or we might just hit. Like today, we're going to go in and just hit for 2 hours. And then tomorrow we'll work our infield like coverages and base running stuff like that. And then some days, we'll split. We'll go an hour hitting, hour working on infield stuff like skills, individual skill stuff.
Okay.
So it all depends on what we got planned for that day.
Do you guys look to be a team to maybe steal a lot?
Yeah, that's kind of what we do. That's everywhere I've been. That's what I've done. So like last year, that was huge success for us, was just stealing bases. I know we had a lot of guys in double digits in stolen bases last year. We had like 7 or 8.
I'm going to go. Yeah, that's 7 or 8 steals. I'm going to kind of go out on a limb here because I seen him play basketball, and the way he moved up and down the court was just insane. Trey Wrigley, could you be that type of guy? He can run. He can sprint. So
sneaky fast is
Tristan Valley as well.
I saw him run the one. I was like, gee, I didn't know you could get down a line like that. So he could be another one. If he gets on, might be able to swipe some bases. Gavin Fox is fast.
Okay.
And then another one was Justin Daly. He hurt his knee, so we're kind of figuring out what's going on with that. But that kid is lightning. He is super fast.
So you've had a couple surprises this year for some players.
Yeah. Yep.
Any other surprises? Like, any improvements? Like, wow, look at him. Look, last.
Yeah, Trenton Thomas. Huge improvements from last year. He didn't get a lot of playing time because you had Gino Novello at third base and Peyton Zupka, but he came in this year. He's been on fire. Swinging the bat like crazy. So that's a huge improvement from last year.
Yeah, you always like to see coming in this year. Like, were you a little nervous coming in this year? Like, what kind of hand am I being dealt here? Or anything like that?
Yeah, in the offseason, it was you're replacing 4 or 5 really really good baseball players. So that's always kind of a fear. And then because of that, some of these guys didn't get the big games that they could have got in. So it was always just kind of feel it out, see what we're going to be like. But these guys, they're competitors. You know, they want to get out there and compete. So I'm not real worried about that. It's just the making the inexperienced errors, you know. But it's a learning experience for them. So I think there were some fears, but I think as we keep moving on, those kind of fears are, like I told him the other day, you know, we look better than what I thought we were going to look like coming into this season. So
that's actually what my next question was going to be. Have those fears kind of drifted away, like what you said they have? Like, is there any other fear like kind of lingering around that you want to go away, but it's
just our, I guess, pitching. How is our pitching going to hold up? You know, because like I said, the guys that threw last year are all gone. I mean, Trey Wrigley has the most experience, and I think he threw like 13 innings for us.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's stuff like that. These other guys, they got to get in there. They got to get their feet wet. And I think once we start to get in game situations and as the season progresses, I think those fears are going to kind of mitigate.
Now, you talked about your pitching and you talked about your infield and outfield. How does your infield and outfield kind of look this year, and your catching position as well? Because all these guys, if your pitching is a little off, you have all these guys to back you up. So does that kind of feel the comfort a little bit? Like, we got some guys that can go, make diving plays in the infield or leaping plays in the outfield.
So we bring in two freshman catchers. That's what we got, but they're both pretty good freshman catchers. So I'm not real worried about that aspect. And then we bring back AJ Sandy at second base. I mean, he started every game last year as a freshman. You're going to bring back Trey Wrigley. He's probably going to play outfield and shortstop. Xavier Clammer is a freshman, and he's as legit as they come as a shortstop. So he's going to be probably our primary shortstop, and then mix in with Jack Gilley and Trey Wrigley. Jack's another one that's going to play third base, and Trenton Thomas is going to play third base. We kind of moved Gino Novello from third to first. He has a great glove, but he kind of had some elbow issues, so we kind of wanted to work him over there just to kind of relieve that the throws on his arm. So him and Mike Fry are going to be our first basemen, and they both look pretty good. So I mean, the infield doesn't worry me at all. The outfield, that just comes with reps. I mean, with not really being able to get outside and seeing fly balls want to, that's just going to be that might be an issue early, but as the season goes on, I don't see that being an issue.
And from what you were saying, a lot of new pitchers on the mound, so you might get a lot of balls hit out into the outfield, so that might erase that problem real quick. Like maybe that first game or so, or maybe even they'll figure it out in these scrimmages. Like, hey, we got to be on our game. These balls could be coming out here. Do you have, I mean, you talked about the speed. Are those guys out there, like you talked about Trey Wrigley, that guy can definitely cover a lot of ground in a matter of a second. So do you feel a lot of, comfortable with that outfield situation?
Yeah. I think the last couple scrimmages, those two scrimmages kind of like helped us figure that stuff out. But yeah, I mean, you got Tristan Valley out there. He can run up and get it. Trey Wrigley's out there. Gavin Fox is out there right now.
So you got your speedsters out there. So
and you got Austin Allen who came in last year for us in certain situations and made great plays in the outfield. And he made one just the other day on a short driving line drive. He came flying in from center field, sliding on his knees, caught it. So these guys can go out and catch the baseball. So it's just kind of like I said, when you get into a game and the kind of pressure's on, runners on, you start to think about things. I'm hoping that they don't panic a little bit.
Yes. Well, Coach, I want to thank you for coming on here and talking to me. Hopefully I can come out and call some Ridge games this year. But good luck to you, and maybe we'll have you on here in the middle of the season or so to kind of talk about that. But, Coach, thanks for coming on here with me.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Matt.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
So right now we're going to move into our next guest. We're going to bring on Coach Bill Hamilton, going to pop in on here. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well, Matt. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Thanks for coming on here. I know you you're also a principal, so you got a lot of responsibilities as well. So what's that been like, being a coach and a principal? You have a lot to juggle a little bit, right?
Yeah, I get my principal stuff done during the day. Then after 2 hours, I go hit the coaching circuit.
I mean, that's a pretty balanced day. You got principal here, and you got baseball here. So I'm excited for this team this year. I'll be calling you guys pretty much all year, just like last year. Come out. There's some interesting games last year. There were some good wins. I was there for the one win, I believe. But this year, do you still got those 21 kids signed up, or has that changed? Or
we're down to 19 right now.
That's still good. You still got 19 kids that signed up. I remember last year I was talking about it at the beginning of the show. You had to bring Cole Burnett and Jack Lendak from the track team to play emergency because you guys had injuries or stuff like that. So do you feel more comfortable with that now? Like, hey, we don't have to go and pick somebody off the track team, or do we got somebody on the bench that's ready to go?
Oh my goodness, it's gonna be so much easier. We're even looking to add some JP games.
Oh really?
Yeah, so we're gonna go from having barely enough kids to field a team to possibly having 2 teams. So
that'll be something this year. I know the one player I'm excited for, your son Brad, coming out senior year, great year on the basketball court. Is he excited to get on the baseball diamond yet, or is he just needs a little break from basketball?
No, the day basketball ended, he was at baseball practice the very next day, and so were the other 3 or 4 kids that played basketball. Last year he was Brad was all league, all district, all county, and he had a pretty nice year as a junior last year, and we're looking for him to expand on that this year.
Yes, most definitely, and those 3 or 4 other players, definitely Preston Gerasitano coming out, and Lewis Flowers, right?
Yeah, and Tyler McWilliams is another.
Tyler McWilliams as well. And, if they translate even a speck of what they did on the basketball court, on the baseball diamond, that you guys are going to win some games this year. Those kids are pretty good athletes. And I know Preston played summer ball as well. So that's going to make you a little bit more comfortable from last year. You guys just won, 2 games all year long. I know you did get a playoff win, but this year, what's the main goal? Just maybe 500, or you're reaching higher?
Yeah, I think we could definitely reach higher. Last year we only got 7 games in the regular season.
Yeah,
we were 2-9 overall.
Yeah.
And mainly because we didn't have enough kids, and then weather played a part in it as well.
Oh, I know.
But so when you only have that many kids and not a lot of experience, outside of maybe Brad, Jack Springer, and Logan Klingensmith and Jacob Toto to an extent. This year, we're not losing a single starter. We're bringing back 9 starters, so our expectations are high.
Yes, and I can't wait for it. And I know that you've been bugging me, like, Matt, when am I going to get on air? Well, this is your chance now to get on air and say what you want to say. So, who's been like the most significant in your preseason? I don't know if you guys have scrimmaged. I know Brad's came out, done a good job. And I know you got a lot of guys coming back. Has anybody improved? Has anybody done anything like that's really opened your eyes a little bit more?
Well, I'll tell you, we just got on the field for the first time yesterday because we've been practicing inside because of the weather and on the parking lot on certain days.
Yeah.
But I tell you, a kid who I think is going to have a huge year this year is going to be Jacob Toto.
All right.
He really improved last year, and the year before he was battling some shoulder injuries, and I think he's fully over it now, and I think he's going to be a huge addition for us.
So he'll still be catching this year.
He's going to be doing quite a bit of catching. We're going to see how that shoulder holds up.
Yeah, because I know you were worried about that shoulder.
Yeah,
so
and we'll take care of him. If it starts to be a bother at some point in the season, we'll move him somewhere else and put someone else in there, a catcher.
do you have somebody in mind that could probably fill in and catch?
Trey Davis, another one of our seniors and a 4-year letterman. He did some catching for us last year when Jake was injured. Jack Springer's also a catcher. Lewis Flowers said that he's caught his whole life. He's one of our freshmen. He said he doesn't particularly enjoy it,
but he can do
it. He can do it if we need him to. So.
And I know Lewis is definitely a guy who just wants to win, and he doesn't really care where he plays. Like he said, he didn't enjoy it, but he came out and said, "Hey, I can do it." So that's just amazing for a freshman to come up and say, like, I don't like it, but if you need me to do it, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. So he definitely did that on the basketball court, and I really can't wait to see that on the diamond as well. This is work ethic. Now, based off that, have you seen anybody else that has really brought that work ethic to the game this year?
No, I will tell you, since we really just started practicing full go because the basketball season went so far.
Yeah.
We have 9 freshmen trying out for the team this year, and every single one of them are bringing it to every practice. So we've been really impressed with the freshman group. And they come, they practice hard, they ask a bunch of questions, and they're doing everything we ask them to do. So coupled with all those, we got 5 or 6 seniors, a couple juniors, Jared Schmidt's another one who played a big part for us last year and this year. And then we have no sophomores, believe it or not. And then we got 9 freshmen. So,
oh boy.
So we got a good mix of older guys and the younger guys to bring them along.
And a lot of those older guys, including Brad, and they've really played that mentor role. Have you seen anybody else willing to pick up that mentor type role on the baseball field?
Yeah, Jack Springer's one. I see him talking to some kids here and there. Really all my seniors. Logan Klingensmith's another one who played a lot of innings for us last year. Hayden Geyer, I can't forget about him. He's a senior that's in the Lewis Flowers mold. Like he goes all out as hard as he can go, and he's another one that that will take the kids and talk to them about what they need to be doing. So
yeah, most definitely. And I'm looking at your schedule here, and I see that you got Brookfield on this schedule.
Yeah,
is that true?
Yes, it is. Yep.
When's the last time as Badger played Brookfield?
It's probably been about 15 years.
Yeah. Oh man, I'll definitely be at that game. I'll be probably making some trips out there anyway, since I'm in the middle. I like to do some Ridge games. I just had their coach on. They should have a good year, but other than that, it's gonna be Badger and Brookfield. So that'll be an easy game to go to. So, but I see you got PV and Bristol on here as well. Bristol was good last year. They did lose Church, right? Nick Church.
They lost Nick Church and Hayden Mahan, who was their 2 top pitchers.
So that you guys got to play them, in week 2 after Lordstown and week 1. So you guys are just jumping right into it. You're going to have some competitive games. What are you going to do to kind of shake that rust off a little bit? I know Lordstown, you could probably shake the rust off a little bit in that game, and so maybe pull off a win. But other than that, have you scrimmaged or anything like that?
So we were going to try to scrimmage with Wyndham this week, but the weather did not cooperate real well.
No.
So next week doesn't look much better. But I know Wyndham's coach really well. He's a really good guy, good friend of mine. And they're probably going to have the best team in the league this year.
Really?
Wyndham. Yeah, they're pretty loaded. And we actually started off our season playing against them. So if we can get a scrimmage in against them, it'd be pretty nice to see where we're at.
Yes, most definitely. Go in and see what they do, and then you go play a game against them. You'll figure out some things. But based off last year, I know we talked. It's a season that you guys probably don't want to remember. Brad had a great year, but other than that, it's kind of a season you don't want to really remember. I know you guys got a playoff win. That was cool. But, you didn't play a lot of games, weather, you didn't have a big team. Now this year you're saying you're a little bit more comfortable with all the players you have, and you might even have a JV team. So that from just that huge jump from last year to this year just has to have you just in a good mood, right?
It does. No, if I go back 2 years ago, we were a 500 team, and we were playing a lot of young guys, and now those young guys are all seniors.
Yeah.
Last year, unfortunately, the record didn't show it. I mean, we played well.
You did. You did.
Bristol, who made the district finals, we lost to them 1-0.
Yeah.
So
I was there.
and that was a game that Brad pitched pretty well in.
Yes.
But the teams, it seemed like all the teams that we played last year that we got the games in, they were the top tier teams in the league. We didn't really get to play against any lesser talented teams. We played against some pretty difficult teams last year, and this year with getting more of those teams on the schedule, I think the record will reflect it, and I think we'll start beating some of those top tier teams too this year.
And even if you maybe not win those games, you're going out and you're playing tough teams, and that's just gonna make these freshmen more experienced and even better. Playing these top teams like this, including Wyndham and Bristol on there as well. So like going into those games, like how are you going to keep those? You said you had 9 freshmen. So how are you going to keep their heads up? Like, hey, if you strike out, if if a ball goes through your legs, if you miss a catch, how are you going to just keep their heads up and be like, hey, it's okay. Go out and, get it next time.
That's something that Coach Carney, the assistant coach of mine, and I were actually just talking about yesterday. Because even in practice, we could see some of the younger guys get frustrated when they're not doing as well as some of the older guys. And it's a learning process. I tell them, hey, the ball player you're at the beginning of the year is not going to be the ball player you are at the end of the year.
No.
And take it one day at a time and get better each day, and that's all we can ask for.
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead and finish.
I was going to say, we're bringing back all 9 starters from last. So even as talented as some of these freshmen are, they're going to have to work pretty hard to see the field in a varsity game.
Yeah.
We have 6, at the very minimum, 3-year letter winners coming back.
So yeah, they're going to get their time. And, you were talking about how they get frustrated and stuff like that. But in a way, that's a good thing because, they're trying their hardest. And you're like, if they get frustrated, you're going to be like, all right, they're really putting their all into it. If they miss a catch and they're like, oh, whatever, then you have some worrying to do. But you said that they're frustrated. Does that kind of play into, good things as well? Frustration?
Well, it tells us that they care.
Yeah, they really do care.
they really do care. And I wouldn't say that all the freshmen are frustrated. There's a handful of them, and they should be. Some of these guys haven't played in 2 or 3 years. Some of them 4 or 5. So. They didn't have a 13 and 14-year-old team last year or the year before. So they didn't go play with another school or another league. They haven't played any games in 3 years. So I can understand them being a little bit behind the curve.
So, and, that's something they're trying to, get up to speed with, and this is a short matter of time. So yeah, frustration is going to kick in, but, this is a tough squad, and, it's nice it's nice, like you said, you have all your 9 starters coming back. So these freshmen can, sit and watch and how they do things, and they can be mentored just a little bit more in the season. If they have to come in later in the season, or even if they don't play at all next year, they'll be ready to go because they sat and watched these guys and were mentored by these guys. Do you feel that same way?
Oh yeah. And I think with the addition of the JV games to get them some experience, help them a lot. But I mean, you know me, you've known me for a long time, Matt.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going to get those kids rotated into play quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Guys, but we're excited. I'll say this too: the best part about these guys is that they're good kids. Like, we love every one of them, Matt. They're really nice kids, and we enjoy every bit of them.
Yes, most definitely. And, from calling these guys in base or in basketball, I built relationships as well with them, and, they're just really good kids, coming in here. So it's nice to see that, they work together, and that they, they're just willing to work. And, you see that from time and time again that, hey, they got each other's backs. So that's just something great to see.
It is.
So, but I mean, going in here, about 5 more minutes, we'll get you off here. I know you got to go be a principal again, but you're laughing. But you said you've known me for years, and I've for all these years I've known you. I've known you since I was about probably 8. So I've known you as I've always looked at you as a coach. You were hanging around when I was playing little league football, and Brad was coming up through the Mighty Mites. So you've always been around in that sports world. You've taken care of the Badger sports as well. You're kind of in charge of that, so you've always been around that area. So what have you done to just really take charge at this this baseball position, this head coach position that you've had for how many years now?
This will be my 5th year in it.
5th year. So there's been a lot of coaches coming in and out. I know Mr. Perk was a coach for a little bit, but you coming in now, what's that been like the past 4 or 5 years? Just be like, hey, I'm coaching baseball.
Mm-hmm. Well, coaching high school baseball is a little bit different.
Yeah.
I've been coaching baseball now for 24 years, believe it or not. And whether it be little league, whether it be softball, whether it be travel baseball. I was Chris Moss' assistant coach at the high school level for quite a few years.
Yes.
And, I learned a lot from him. He was a very good mentor to learn from. Real knowledgeable guy, and he passed a lot of his ideas down to me. But I would say that, I approach it probably a lot differently than a lot of other coaches where, I try to make it a learning experience all the time. Me, I'm not a yeller or a screamer. And
sometimes,
especially when it comes to like gameplay, I always feel like the game is the kids' time to play. Mm-hmm. And if I need to make corrections, I'll talk to them about when they get to the dugout or the next day of practice. But as far as when it's game time, that's their time to shine. It shouldn't be me out there hooting and hollering.
Yeah, and we see some coaches that do that. They're on the edge of the dugout, like, hey, what are you doing? You're definitely not that guy. You sit back. If they make a mistake, you talk them up a little bit. You make adjustments, and you do it quietly. You don't make it known. You're not that type of guy. I've known you enough to know that you're not. You like to see these kids advance in their careers as a high school athlete, and yelling and screaming at them, at least you see that's not going to help at all. You just try and help them advance very very good, very quietly. And I bet you they really appreciate that, because Josh Upshire screams at them all day. So when they come to you, it's like, all right, he's not going to scream.
I would say with Josh, I wouldn't say it's screaming. I would say that
he doesn't scream. I'm just giving him a hard time.
Yeah. He's an intense talker.
Oh yeah, he sure is. He's just that type of guy that just get in the zone. Like, he wants, I feel like he wants to go back out there and play. And, so that really shows a lot that he puts into the game though. But, not everybody's going to be like that. And there's nothing wrong with being like that. Just very vocal. Yeah. But you can be vocal in other ways, and you've definitely showed that, especially with last year. You always kept your guys' heads up. So that's something that these kids are really going to have an advantage with.
Yeah. I can't wait. The season starts here in about 2.5 weeks, and we're chomping at the bit.
Yes, most definitely. Well, Coach, I'm going to let you get back to your high school duties, and I'll see you in a couple weeks. I'll be out there, hopefully the first home game. I should be there this Monday as well for the All-Star game, so that the NAC All-Star game should be very fun to do as well. But, hey, we'll see you in a couple weeks for baseball season. Coach, thanks for coming on here.
All right. Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure he was going to say thanks for having me on, but he must have clicked a button. But I want to say thank you to him again, and as well as Coach Ragazone from Mineral Ridge coming on here as well. But thanks for everybody tuning in here for another episode of Talk More with Matt Morrison. Hey, we'll see you all back here on Monday. Hey, be sure to tune in to Running Point with Anthony Hartwig in about 10 minutes, and then Power Hour later with DJ Oakley as well. So a couple more shows on the network today that you can go on and watch. But we'll see you all later here, everybody. Have a good day.